Hello, God's family. How are you doing? How have you been? Thank you so much for joining me. I am Revived Winner and I'm born again. Christ is the rock of my salvation. Thank you so much for following the Nyota series, and I'm happy that it is impacting people. I've gotten your feedback, I've gotten your inboxes, I have gotten your questions, and I'm going to answer them through this video. And I believe this is the final one because I have pretty much tried to bring you into the story. Although I said my testimony is too long, it can't fit in a video, it can't fit in a series, so I'm just going to point out what is important, and of course I've let you in on a lot. And on this video I am going to tell you how I got out of captivity, how I got out of the kingdom of darkness, and how I got back my star. That is meaning restoration, how the Lord restored me and what happened really for me to get there. So I had given you insights on what this guy would do, and eventually I get this child, and I chase my mama, and and of course this gives the devil another opportunity to take from me, and that child was sacrificed for whatever reason that guy was sacrificing that kid for. I'm saying it so lightly and in an easy way because God has healed me. I do not regret, I do not look back and cry, I do not feel any sorrows now, because the Lord is the ultimate healer, and when he heals you, really you just get over such things. In my story I have pointed out some of the things he would do and how my life turned out and what was happening in my life at that time, and how I just lost it, and how I couldn't make money, and how I was just a nobody, and the things he would use. He had planted an altar in my house, and he would use monitoring spirits. Monitoring spirits can be stuffed animals. You know, you can raise an altar. The way as Christians we raise an altar for God, you can actually go somewhere, sanctify that place and raise an altar. So raising an altar is really not about building something. It is about your words. The Bible says that your tongue has the power to life or death, that your tongue can speak life or your tongue can speak death. So your tongue can speak an altar into existence, and especially if you're spiritual. And when I say spiritual, I mean when you're in the kingdom of light, we have the power to raise an altar. And those people in the kingdom of darkness, they also raise altars. As simple as just speaking, as simple as just using paraphernalia. Those people use things that are just out of this world. So yes, that was in my house, and so there's nothing I could do that he did not know, and there's nowhere I could go without him knowing. So how I got out of it is after my baby died. I have a relative of mine who is a pastor. She is, I will not mention her name for security purposes. And that woman of God is the one who was spiritually awakened of what was happening in my life. And it is through her that God delivered me. And I thank God for her, and I thank God to date, because I have never left Christ and I'm not planning to leave Christ. And that is my lifestyle now. Christ is my life, and that's it. That's why I don't care whether the world will wake up today and say there is no Jesus. I believe in Jesus. That Jesus who saved me, that one who delivered me, that one who got me out of captivity. I can never leave him because I have seen him work in my life. People will say that, you know, this thing called religion, or this thing called Bible, or this thing you guys say Jesus and God were brought by the white man. Oh yeah, let me follow what he brought, that white man. Let me follow that, because I have seen the Lord deliver me. If you saw me before, and I intend on putting a photo right here, if you saw me before and now, you can really tell the difference, and you can tell that I was delivered from something. Those people who knew me already can tell, even by how I behave, how I talk. The devil changes everything. When your star is gone, you're gone. You're pretty much dead. I said when your star is gone, you're walking but you're dead. You are a walking dead. So for me to come to Christ now, this child has died, and for me I have not noticed anything. So I'm even thinking that we are gonna have another baby, because I mean I'm so in love, because it is kufungwa macho, hiyo sio love. And I'm still stuck on him. Now after my child died, this guy attempted thrice to kill me. One, he dragged me on Thika Road with his car, using his car. That car he got using my star. He dragged me on Thika, literally the whole of my side. Yani nyama ilikuwa nilikuwa nimegwarwa, and that was the last time I saw that guy. Now the other time was he tried throwing me off a building. So I think his mission was, once the baby is dead, then I need to die for him to get the reward he had to get, or the hierarchy that kingdom or secret society wanted to take him to. When he attempted to kill me, I remember that last time is when he dragged me on Thika Road. And I remember after now I went back to my house. As I watched his car drive off, I just made one prayer. And remember, I'm not born again. In fact, as I was making that prayer, I was holding something. I was smoking something. And I was just looking at that car, and I told God, God, let me never see that man again. Let me never see that man again in my life. And truth be told, I have never seen him again in my life now. That is the wonder. Those are the wonders that the Lord can do. Just speak it. Just ask God. It doesn't matter. Are you drunk right now? Are you smoking? Whatever you're smoking, are you using drugs and you're high and you're thinking God cannot hear me? God can hear you. The Bible says even if your bed was to be spread in hell, he can still reach you there. His hand is not too short to save. It doesn't matter where you are. I'm telling you, my life was so miserable. I literally lived in keg dens. Wachana na ati mizinga. Now I was down to keg dens. Those people, somewhere, there's a town somewhere. I will mention it maybe someday, but now I just want to keep it very private. Those people knew me, and they knew that I was just a regular there, to the point that they would give me alcohol for free, because they knew I'm gonna pay that alcohol anyway, because I'm never gonna miss being in the club. Now, when my kid died and I now started, and this man wanted to kill me, and I've told God, I don't want to see him anymore. I now got into suicidal thoughts. And because this guy would write to me and tell me, you killed that child, tell everyone the truth. You see, everyone is not around you. Your family has even deserted you. Remember, he is the reason my family has deserted me. Remember, he has killed this kid. Spiritually speaking, he has killed this kid. But now he wants to put the blame on me so that I can be so guilty. That is what the devil does. He makes you so guilty that you feel unworthy. The moment you feel unworthy, the devil starts to convince you, you don't need to live. Why do you need to live? You don't need to live. Look at yourself. You're nobody. You're nothing. No one is around you. So what do? You commit suicide. Those people who commit suicide, there's usually a meeting with them and the devil before they do it, that the devil convinces them, you need to die. You need to go. You're not worthy. In fact, leave these people alone. They'll be in pain after you're gone. My God. Suicide is usually like, umeenda mkutano, umekubaliana na shetani, and now you decide, I have to go. And that was my thinking at that time. I wanted to throw myself off a building where I was living. And then one voice is telling me, throw yourself off. The other voice is telling me, what if you don't die? What if those wires, what if you go hang on them? Then you're going to be in jail for attempted suicide. Then another thought comes, stab yourself and bleed to death. Then another voice comes to me, hey, remember how many layers you have in your stomach? You've already gone through CS. You remember how they sew that stomach? So can you imagine stabbing yourself? That one, it just discredits whatever I had, the first voice that is. Now the other voice was, take all these medicines, put them together, drink and die. Then I will hear a voice tell me, what if you suffer kidney problems and now you'll be in dialysis, saying that I tried to kill myself? What was the other thing? There were cutting my wrist, because in the movies you see people cut their wrist, they bleed until they die. Oh, and then the Lord asked me, because the other voice was, of course, of the angel of the Lord, and he is a demonic voice, and he is the angel of the Lord. And I remember that day I was too depressed, and I wanted to die so badly. There's nothing I was not trying. Then eventually I just called my mom and told her, you see, when I die, I want to be buried with my son. You see where we buried my son? Just bury me next to him. Let me tell you, when the devil is taking you out, anything and everything will take you out, and you will be convinced to a point that you will accept to be taken out. But God is great that I never died. My mom came the next day. It is a whole story. That one I will not mention here. But when Sunday came, I gave my life to Christ, and my mom prayed me to salvation. And I gave my life to Christ. And when I gave my life to Christ, I told my mama, I want to follow you to fasting. I want to go with you to fasting. And she told me, it's okay, you can come with me. But I told her, because I've never fasted, I'll just do 3 days and then I'll go back home. She told me it's well. But let me tell you, 3 days turned into 3 months. My sister, my brother, I went to that church with a bag carrying clothes for about 3 days. But let me tell you, I stayed in the altar of the Lord for 3 months. No pastor told me to stay for 3 months, not my mama, not a friend, nobody. I just grew a thirst for the Lord. I just grew a thirst for the Bible, for prayer.